Well, I mean, I grew up in Sweden, and I grew up with rock and roll and jazz. And then that turned into folk music. And then with my travels all over the world, it became a great interest in Indian music. And I studied Indian classical music in India, 78 to 83, so I lived in India then. And then coming back, I lived in Barcelona, and I played in a band. And then there I started working in music production, in big concerts with all the top Rolling Stones, Prince, David Bowie, Tina Turner. Say again?
How it happened?
Well, I think it happened because of my spontaneous looking for new things and connecting and being connected in the Barcelona music world. And then from there, I went in 1992, I went to work in Sevilla in the Expo 92, the World Exhibition. And I was the director of production in one of the night stages that was open all night until 4 o'clock in the morning. And all the countries that came to the expo and had their pavilion, they had their national day, an event in my stage. So, and there I met a lot of people, and also my first real contact with Angola. And meeting somebody who worked in the Angolan pavilion, and we started a family. And after the expo, we went to Angola. And there, my heart always being with music, and I got very interested in the local Angolan music world and cultural world in general, and had some different projects there. My first project was actually a project with UNICEF, United Nations, against landmines. But I proposed to them to make a video, like MTV-style video clip, with information about landmines. And my interest was to have more of acoustic sound than the popular music in the early 90s, which was very kizomba-like. And also using not only the Portuguese language, which is, the colonialists' language, but they were there for 500 years. So it's very, very ingrown into Angolan society, and there's many local languages, more than 20. And but people don't speak, young people don't speak it so much. They speak Portuguese. So and I always liked languages very much in my adventurism. So I wanted to have some key phrases from these local languages. So there was a chorus and the bridge, and then it came in 4 different local languages mixed with Portuguese. It was very kind of instructive, teaching what people to do, not to do in relation to landmines. No? And then, so doing that, I met some very good musicians, and then we produced this music, and then I worked a lot with the singer of that song. And in 2007, we made an album that became #1 in Angola. And but my interest has always been with world music, with like going further than with what we know and exploring new things and different sounds and ancestral sound. Because also before that, in the 70s with rock music, and now that I also got interested in Swedish folk music, and that opened up other doors, kind of thing. And then that has brought to, but being in Angola all those 28 years also meant traveling in Africa and knowing about other African countries' music. But also the interesting thing and the curious thing is, on the first day I came to Angola, a word came into my mind, which is Latin Africa. It was something I hadn't really thought about, but Angola is so strongly influenced by Portugal and by Brazil. So, and it's very Latin as a country. And in some ways, Angola music is more related to Latin American music than other African music, in some ways. So it's all a combination of that.
And now, do you still cooperate with some Angolan musicians?
Sure. Actually, here in Setúbal and in Lisbon, there's some very good Angolan musicians living, and I cooperate with them, working on getting them to Sweden, and also working on new projects in Angola with festivals and new music also.